Hey everyone, I'm back with another video, and today I want to talk about the 8 things that I hate most about having ulcerative colitis. Now this is just my opinion based off the experience that I've had with this. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it and get started. Alright, number 8, the medicine. When you first get diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, you might as well go ahead and start getting used to taking lots of medicine, and you'll probably be doing it the rest of your life. When I was first diagnosed, I ended up having to take 24 pills at a time every day. It hasn't always been that high. At the very least, I was taking 6 pills a day. So this is something that you're just going to have to, if you hate taking pills, hate taking medicine, you kind of have to get used to it, because it's something that you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your life. So, boy, I'm a real ray of sunshine today, ain't I? And of course, with all the medication, you got to worry about the side effects from the medication. So you may have to take additional meds on top of that to deal with the side effects of the medication that's treating your current condition in the first place. So yeah, have fun with that. Number 7, a lifetime of doctors and procedures. Once you first get diagnosed with this, of course, they're going to have to run lots of tests in order to determine that's what you have in the first place. And with all the medication that you're going to be taking, a lot of times they will run tests to make sure nothing's out of whack. They may be taking blood from you every so often to make sure the medication isn't messing with your liver, your blood counts. I mean, I'm not a medical professional, so I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but there's a lot of different things that you're going to have to deal with. I've had probably 3 or 4 different doctors over the course of this. There may be some that'll retire while during your lifetime of the checkups. There'll be some that you may just not get along with, and you'll need to find some additional ones that'll actually understand you, that you feel comfortable with. But anyway, you're going to have to be dealing with this for a while, so it can be a huge inconvenience having to go through all the doctor visits. Even if everything is normal, you're not experiencing any symptoms, or you haven't experienced any symptoms for a while, a lot of times you'll still have to do this just solely based off the type of medication that you're going to be taking. Not to mention the lovely colonoscopies that'll have to be scheduled on a regular basis. Number 6, lack of exposure. There's so many people that have no idea what this even is, and because of that, whenever they find out that you have this condition, a lot of them just don't understand. There's no, when you tell them that you're having these issues, that you may have to go use the restroom, they're blasé about it because they don't understand what you're having to go through. There's not a lot of information about that. You don't even hear that much about ulcerative colitis, and that's very frustrating to me, because nobody really understands it. Unless you have it, you don't really understand what someone's going through. So even if your significant other that you're living with, that they have a tough time understanding what your symptoms are, because it's really tough to explain a lot of it. So that can be very frustrating with the lack of knowledge that's out there about this disease that affects so many people. Number 5, unpredictability. The flare-ups that you have on occasion are so unpredictable. There's really no way to predict when you're going to have these. A lot of people say they're brought on by stress. A lot of people think it may have something to do with the diet. There's just a lot of factors that can pertain to whether or not you're having these flare-ups, and they are so unpredictable. You could be fine one day, and the next day you start to see these symptoms occur, and it may take a while to get the flare-ups back under control. But they're really unpredictable, and that's very frustrating, because it's always in the back of your mind about whenever these could occur. Number 4, stress and paranoia. Because of the unpredictable nature of this particular disease, that can add a lot of stress and paranoia to your everyday life. You could be out somewhere and you just not feel quite right. Your stomach could be feeling kind of strange. Maybe you have some different things going on with your stomach, and you automatically start thinking, oh great, here comes another flare-up. What am I going to have to do to get rid of this? And that in itself adds additional stress, which could make the symptoms even worse. And even if you weren't having a flare-up, just the stress of the thought that you may have one could end up triggering one in the first place. So it's an endless vicious cycle that you really have to be on the watch out for to try to keep things under control for yourself, keep your emotions in check, and try not to be so paranoid about every little thing, but it's so hard to do that. Number 3, extraintestinal manifestations. Try saying that 3 times fast. It's a lot of times people think, okay, well, it's just your stomach that's hurting, all right? No, there's other things that can go along with it. For me, my biggest thing has been flare-ups of my joints on my extremities, like my ankles, my knees, my hands, my fingers. When I first got diagnosed with this, I was having a really tough time. So bad to the point to where I even had to have crutches because I couldn't hardly get around because my knees and my ankles were so inflamed with this particular symptom that I was having. On occasion, I still get those. It's not as bad as it was when I first got diagnosed with this. I mean, even now my knuckle on my hand's been bothering me a little bit. So that, of course, that triggers something in the back of my mind that, hey, that's what this is. It may not be. It's really hard to tell a lot of times until it comes on full force. So that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand about this as well, is it doesn't necessarily always have to be stomach issues. Number 2, mental health. A lot of people may have heard me talk about this in some of my previous videos, that whenever you have these flare-ups, it doesn't only affect you physically, but also affects you mentally as well. Because you start questioning everything. You start getting, you lose your confidence about whether or not you can even leave the house, about whether or not you should go do something, about whether or not you can eat because the way it affects your stomach. You start to miss out on things that you used to really enjoy. So your mental health is something that can really be affected by this as well. So you have to be able to work on that. You don't want to sink into this spiral of depression and hopelessness and all that, because you always got to be able to work on that. You got to be able to get back to doing the things that you love and try not to let it affect you in that aspect, because that's extremely important to make sure that you can come out of that. Because again, with the mental health, the depression, that can make the symptoms even worse because it can add to your stress. That's also another aspect. Before I get to number 1, be sure to go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Help other people who may need to see this information. It's very important that people know that they're not alone in this. Again, it goes back to mental health and all that stuff, but if they know that there's somebody else out there going through some of this, then it could really help them. So if you like and subscribe, it can help push this out to more people so more people can see this and be aware of what's going on. Number 1, missing out on life. At this very moment, as I'm speaking to the camera making this video, my family is off doing a birthday celebration with my mother-in-law. They're eating at her favorite restaurant, and guess who's home alone? This guy. I was not able to go. I did not feel comfortable going because of some of the stomach issues I've been having, and my wife, she understands, so they went ahead and took off, and they're enjoying this great meal. That's just one example. I could go on and on about many times I've had to miss out on doing something that I really enjoyed. I feel like I have to put my life on hold sometimes while I have one of these flare-ups. It's very frustrating, and it's something that you just have to deal with sometimes. You hear the comment a lot of times, well, if you need to use the restroom, we can just stop along the way. There's little restaurants, there's gas stations, whatever. We can stop along the way if you need to go. That doesn't quite work. A lot of people don't understand that whenever I get these flare-ups and I feel like I need to use the bathroom, if I'm not able to go to a restroom within 30 seconds, I'm in trouble. A lot of times I just don't have control. I got to be able to hurry and get to the restroom. And people with this condition understand that and know what I'm talking about. People who don't have this condition, they don't have a clue. A lot of times I'll hear people say, well, I gotta use the bathroom, and I'll be like, oh, okay, well, you need to go ahead and take care of that. And they're, no, I can wait till I get home. What? That's something I've never really understood. I've never been able to understand the people that say, well, I can hold it, I can wait an hour, I can wait half an hour. I don't think I've ever been able to do that. Even whenever I don't have a flare-up, when I feel I need to go ahead and go. I know that may be a little graphic for some people, but that's just what it is. All right, so there's my list. If you have additional things, additional symptoms or something like that bothers you that I didn't mention, be sure to comment those down below. Maybe we can start a conversation and talk about that. Based off my experience, those are the 8 things that I hate most about having this issue. Don't mean to be a Debbie Downer or get people down in the dumps about this. I don't want people to think that I'm really depressed about having this, because I actually do feel a lot better from a mental standpoint, especially since I've been making these videos. It seems to be a good outlet for me to be able to get some stuff out there. So don't think that I need some additional help. I'm okay. The Humira, I'm still waiting on that to kick in, so that's still frustrating because I haven't really seen a whole lot of positive results from that. I'm hoping that will come along soon, but I've only had 2 doses. They say it could take 6 to 8 weeks, maybe longer. It just depends on how your body reacts to the injections. So hopefully soon that's going to start working, and I'll be sure to keep everybody updated on that. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.